78 degrees is right on target for this time of year, and that 40-degree mark is slightly below target, but we'll be getting into why that low got so low last night later in the show. Temperature change around the region is about 10 degrees for the entire region, and it's 10 degrees higher than it was this time yesterday. So we saw that front make its way overhead a few days ago, cooling us down and bringing those northwesterly winds, and now the pattern has changed where we're getting a southerly flow, and it is keeping us nice and warm, and we're getting some moisture back in the area, but our radar does not show that. The only thing changing on this radar is that timestamp, because we don't have any clouds in the area or any rain to be seen on this radar. So what's to come? Those sunny skies are going to persist until our next system makes its way across the United States. Those highs will climb into the 80s, so here we come, a little sneak peek of summer, and those rain chances are arriving early next week. But keep on this channel because FSU weather starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Jennifer Collins.
And I'm student meteorologist Ariana Goldstein. We're here with you tonight for your FSU weather update.
Yeah, we'll give you the full forecast rundown as well as some tidbits into some events that are happening this week.
Oh,
and sports events that are happening, as well as some weather fun facts that Sydney and I will be giving you later on throughout the show. So
we got a jam-packed show tonight.
Yeah, stick around for the full 30 minutes. But yeah, so we're actually going to give some events that are happening around Tallahassee, right?
Yeah, for sure. So if you are at FSU, which hopefully most of you are, the Flying High Circus has been going on and is still going on, and the tickets are free for students. And this Friday they have a show at 7 p.m. and I've heard it's a really awesome show, so I think you should all go out and see it, and it's really cool actually.
I saw them my freshman year and I they were so good. I was shocked with like their scale that they had.
I've actually never seen it, so
really?
Maybe I'll go on Friday.
So another event that's happening on Friday is Relay for Life. Actually, the American Meteorological Society, one of the clubs here in Tallahassee, will be participating in that. That starts at 6 p.m. and heads out throughout 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. So.
Yeah, that's a good thing to go to. It supports a lot of different charities, and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to go to that also. Maybe not the circus, and maybe next week for the circus. But also, do you like frozen yogurt? Because apparently Newberry, the frozen yogurt place, is having $3 fill-up on Thursday, so that's a bargain.
And if you don't like ice cream, we also have the another fun event, Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs. They'll have a hot dog eating contest in Valdosta, Georgia, so that'll be a fun event to go to on Saturday.
Yes.
But right now we're actually going to send things out to the wall with Sydney. She's giving us a look at what's going on around Tallahassee weather-wise.
Thanks, guys. So now I'm going to dive a little deeper into those dry conditions that we've been seeing all day. Take a look at this sky. So as we went through the day, I only saw one cloud pass through on this sky cam. So the sun is peeking out at this time. The sunset is not far away, and we have not seen any clouds in the area all day. So 78 degrees and sunny and those calm winds. So that behind the front, we really have been seeing those dry and warm conditions, and it's been very enjoyable for us here at FSU Weather. So temperatures are in the high 70s, 77 in Thomasville, 78 in Tallahassee. So the entire region seeing those temperatures get up higher than what we're used to seeing. So summer is knocking on our door. Dew points, we are seeing mid to high 30s in the area, going into the 40s for some places. So this is dry, but it's not as dry as what we've been seeing. We have a southerly flow coming in from the Gulf, so that flow is going to cause those dew points to rise up a little bit along with that temperature, and as they both rise, that southerly flow will continue as the high pressure sits off to our east. So that is what makes this temperature change. We are seeing 11 degrees higher in Thomasville, 8 degrees in Tallahassee, and 9 in Quincy. The entire region seeing those warmer temperatures, and we will be breaking into the 80s as we get into the later parts of the week. Tonight's forecast, 50s around the entire region. Valdosta sitting there a little bit cooler at 48, and Tallahassee sitting there at 50. So this is right on target for this time of year. We are seeing target highs and target lows were right on average for these springtime conditions. Tomorrow's forecast, we're going to be up in the 80s, so everybody get excited for this. Tallahassee seeing 84, Monticello 83, and St. Mark's a little bit cooler down there at 77 because they will be getting moderated by the water that they are sitting on right there, and they will be right in the way of that wind. So this 7-day forecast, Wednesday is going to be the beach day. Don't forget your sunscreen. Don't forget to bring water if you're going to be going anywhere. 84 degrees, and Thursday and Friday these conditions are going to persist, but Friday we get a slight cool down, but not any rain, just clouds building in the area. Sunday we're going to be seeing the rain really building in and into Monday as well. Monday is going to be a washout, so make sure you enjoy the weekend and get outside while you can, and those conditions are going to be in the 80s and lowering into the mid 70s. So we're going to be taking it off to the desk with Michael and Ariana to give us a look at some sports to come.
Thank you so much, Sydney. If you look at that 7-day forecast, we got a beautiful week coming ahead of us, so that means it's going to be good sports weather, right?
Yeah, spring sports are into full swing now. We have baseball going on as we speak.
Oh, yes. The game started at 6 o'clock. Baseball is playing Stetson at home right now, and they are also playing at 4 o'clock tomorrow, the same team. So go out and support your Noles. If you're not there now, go tomorrow at 4 o'clock. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be sunny and great.
Yeah, the only thing you need to worry about is to wear the sunscreen and stay hydrated.
Yes, like Sydney said, it's very important. It's going to be hot out there tomorrow, hotter than today.
Oh, yeah, and then baseball, once they finish against Stetson on Wednesday, they're going to head up to Boston to play Boston College. It's been a little chilly up towards Boston, but I think by this weekend, it's going to be much better in terms of the weather compared to these last few days.
It'll still be feeling much more different than it does here. It's probably not going to be 80 degrees up
there.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be 80 up towards Boston.
But they'll feel some chilly weather, so it'll be nice.
Oh, yeah. And then we also have tennis. Both our men's and women's tennis teams are out. And men's, they play North Carolina. Women's, they play Notre Dame. Both of them are on Friday. They're at the same time, 4:30 for the women's, 5:30 for the men's.
I think the women's is at Notre Dame, actually.
Oh, the women's is, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know.
You can support your Noles both ways, but if you're at Notre Dame for some reason, go support the women's tennis team.
Yeah, so we have a lot of sports going on, but for now, let's send it off to the wall with Jennifer.
Let's take a look at current conditions across Florida. We're seeing the radar not showing much cloud cover across most of Florida, even the Panhandle and Peninsula. So overall, these clear conditions will start to stay in our area because we are in a high pressure system that's located right over Florida, which means we will have the winds that makes it a little bit more clear when you walk outside. Temperature-wise, though, it feels pretty nice across Florida. 78 degrees in Tallahassee, 77 in Gainesville, as well as the hot spot on the map, 84 degrees in Fort Myers. They're seeing a little bit higher temperatures for South Florida at this time, but overall, it feels quite comfortable if you walk outside. Only 78 in Orlando. Temperature-wise, though, we have seen the temperature change significantly since this time yesterday. About 8 to even 14 degree temperature changes across the map. So with the high pressure system, that means that temperatures will be starting to rise a little bit. That means it's going to feel a little bit more warm when you walk outside, even for tomorrow. Dew points, though, staying in the upper 30s, even some 40s on the map. Even a 50 in West Palm Beach. So overall, with these higher dew points, we will see it is going to feel a little bit more dry outside, as well as a little bit less cloud cover with these drier dew points. So overall, it feels quite comfortable thanks to these dew points and the high pressure. Next 24 hours will show not much going on weather-wise or even cloud cover-wise for most of Florida, as we are in the high pressure system, which means that it will stay clear for most of the day. We will have a cold front trying to make its way on through on Thursday, though, but it won't really give us any rain chances heading throughout Thursday or even Friday, but it will bring some temperature changes for that. Futurecast, our winds are going to stay mainly out of the southwest if you're heading into the Panhandle. This means that a little bit higher temperatures for tomorrow as well. The coastal areas might feel a little bit more cool, though, places like Pensacola, even Apalachicola. But with the East Coast, they'll actually see some areas will have an off-coast breeze. In other areas like South Florida, like Miami, we'll actually see the on-coast breeze, which means that it'll be a little bit more cooler in those spots compared to Jacksonville or even Fort Myers. If you are heading to the beach in Pensacola, though, it'll be a beautiful day to head out. Only 70 degrees for 9 a.m., but it will heat up to about 78 for the afternoon. So do have your sunscreen out because the UV will be a little bit more high. The index is about 5 for Pensacola. So overall, temperature-wise, it does feel a little bit more nice. Tonight's forecast, though, will be quite comfortable. 50 degrees for Tallahassee. It's 49 degrees for Gainesville, a little bit cooler at that spot, as well as 58 degrees for Fort Myers and 64 for Miami. And for tomorrow, it will be a hot one for most areas. 84 degrees for Tallahassee, as well as 89 degrees for Orlando. So those are some pretty warm temperatures. As I send things back over to the desk with Michael, I'm going to send things back over to the desk.
Thanks, Jennifer. You can see it's warm and very comfortable out in Florida. The similar story out towards the southwest, but for them, it's not helping any cause because it's been so dry out towards the southwest of the United States that they've been dealing with a lot of fires recently. A lot of the southwest is in the extreme and exceptional drought, which are the highest two categories on the drought monitor. So that is not a good thing. When you have hot conditions along with windy conditions, it's a recipe for disaster, and it can lead to a lot of fire problems. As a result, a lot of the southwest are under fire weather watches and warnings, as well as high wind warnings, and these fires can spread very quickly. If you saw the GOES satellite imagery this past weekend, you could see all the smoke from those fires coming out in western Oklahoma. So we're not expecting any changes in the near term. But let's go back locally and give you a look at our local forecast. You can see that our almanac for today, we actually had an average day for this time of the year. 78 degrees was our high today, but we did really start out very chilly, 40 degrees. That's more typical of late January, early February, not for middle of May. But we are going to warm up as we head into these next few days. Currently, we are still sitting at 78 degrees. Absolutely calm winds, absolutely perfect outside. After that cold morning and we had this warm-up, very quick warm-up, you need to shed the layers today. That was the key for today. Now, temperatures across the region, pretty uniform in the inland areas, 77 in Thomasville, 78 here in Tallahassee. Down towards the coast in Apalachicola, those winds are starting to come out of the south. As a result, you're getting the cooler breezes from the Gulf, therefore it's slightly cooler, so 71 down towards Apalachicola. There you can see the winds coming out of the Gulf now. These last few days, they were coming out of the northwest because of that cold front moving through on Sunday. Now with high pressure situated down to the Gulf Coast and that moving east, you can start to see those winds shifting when instead of coming from the north, they're coming from the south. For that reason, we're going to be much warmer than yesterday. So 80s are expected these next few days. Dew point still relatively low, a little bit higher than these last few days, but very comfortable, very dry outside. It's not feeling like that summer humidity and moisture we usually experience here in Florida. Futurecast, the only thing that changes here is the timestamp. Nothing, we are not expecting Futurecast to change. It's taking a hiatus for these next few days. So that's what we're expecting in terms of our weather for the rest of the work week. Tonight's forecast, it won't be as cold as tonight because of those southerly winds. 50 degrees will be our low here in Tallahassee. That's more typical for the beginning of April. A warmer down towards the coast with 56 in Apalachicola and 55 down in St. Mark's. Tomorrow, warmer than today, 84 here in Tallahassee. And then when you go more inland up towards Georgia, a little bit warmer. 86 up towards Bainbridge, 86 in Quincy. And of course, with the southerly winds, the cooler conditions will be along the coast and Apalachicola and St. Mark's with 77 in St. Mark's and 78 in Apalachicola. Now, we will have a cool start, but not as cold as these last few days, starting at 51. But the sunny conditions will allow us to warm up very quickly to 82 by the afternoon. As we head into Friday, though, our temperatures dip a little bit because of a weak cold front. But then our next rainmaker comes on Sunday. That's a stronger cold front, and that might stall out on top of our area. We have to see about that. But let's send it off to Ariana with a look at the national forecast.
Thank you so much, Michael. If we take a look around the country at the moment, we can see that down here, this big red spot down here, that is very warm. In that Dallas-Fort Worth area, you've reached up to 87 degrees today. San Antonio, you also got in those high 80s to 85. This is a big drought area. I will talk about it in a second, but there are lots of warnings over here in the southwest region that you have to be aware of that are very serious. But up north you can see we got Billings, you're at 51, Salt Lake City, you're at 46. It is a little bit more chilly up there because there was a little bit of precipitation there today. Not too horrible, but you can see this high pressure system over here to our southeast in Tallahassee at 78. It is feeling like a beautiful spring day in Florida. But if you keep looking around the country, in Boston you're at 47 degrees, in Washington you're at 47 also, but there's nothing too crazy going around the country right now. Just take a look at that big picture, the temperature changes. In Billings, like I said, you're negative 22 from yesterday. Salt Lake City, you're at negative 17. There was some precipitation up there. That is why that temperature has dropped so much since yesterday. As you can see up here on this radar, you can see those cloud coverage and that snow up there. That precipitation has caused that temperature to drop mainly up there. And in the northeast, you can see all this cloud coverage, and you got some snow up in the northeast. I know my home in Louisville, Kentucky, we actually got some snow yesterday. So that's crazy for mid-April. It's been some crazy weather weeks. It's been a crazy weather week. But if you look at the alerts right now, here in the north, we've got a winter storm warning. This is crazy for mid-April winter storm warning up in the north. I know it's cold up there, but man, I don't know if I'd want to get some snow right then. But this is a very serious alert right here. We have a fire weather warning. This means it is very dry, and you'll see we have a wind warning over here too. That means do not do any campfires. Smokey the Bear would not be happy with you if you had a campfire. This is a very serious thing. You need to be aware because this high wind warning makes it very dry. So this fire would, if there was a fire, it would spread very quickly because there is a high wind warning. It's very windy over here, very dry. Do not start any fires because you do not want that to spread. As you can see on the drought monitor, like I said, this is where that warning is. So you need to be very careful because it's very dry. You're in a drought. Actually, that is an extreme drought. So there is no water on the ground. You do not want to start a fire then. But for tonight, what you can expect, Dallas, you can expect to drop all the way down to 50 degrees. New Orleans, you're sitting at 64, pretty moderate around the country. But for tomorrow, it is basically the same as today. Nothing too crazy, but it's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow around the country. But we're going to send it back to Michael with the southeast forecast.
Yeah, thanks, Ariana. So here locally in Tallahassee, we're having the dry and warm conditions. The same thing can be said about the southeast. So you can see that the radar is clear right now. Like, this is our next storm system that's not going to give us much rainfall. It's not going to give much moisture to the south as of any of. It's mainly a storm system for the northern part of the country, but down here towards Tallahassee, it's going to remain dry because of this high pressure system situated off the Gulf Coast. Now, temperatures are really warm across the southeast. 80s out towards the western portions, 83 in Little Rock, 76 up towards Atlanta, much warmer than yesterday. They were only in the 50s this time yesterday, 78 down towards Tallahassee. Now, the temperatures are, again, much warmer. Look at Atlanta. I said it was only in the 50s yesterday, 23 degrees warmer than yesterday. So, much warmer up there. The same story can be said across the rest of the southeast. Now, the relative humidity are still low because we're still having the drier air from that cold front moving through this on Sunday. So these relative humidities are going to stay low for these next few days. And that's the reason why that cold front that's going to move through Thursday into Friday is not going to give much precipitation. There's no moisture in the air. Now, Futurecast, again, shows you that front that was out towards Montana. It tries to make it down south. You can see some of the cloud cover, but there's no moisture with it. The next front on Sunday will give a lot of moisture to the southeast, and we'll get into that later into the week. You can see high pressure situated just off the Gulf Coast, just south of Apalachicola. That moves east as we head into the next few days, and that will bring us some more moisture as we head into later in the work week. Tonight, 50s across most of the board, 61 in Shreveport, 60 in Little Rock, but much warmer than these last few nights because of the wind starting to shift and coming out of the Gulf rather than coming out of the north. And then tomorrow, 80s mainly, except for the northern portions of Shreveport, Little Rock, and Tupelo. Everyone else is going to be in the 80s. It might get to 90 degrees down towards Orlando. And Atlanta, you're in the 50s again. On Monday, you'll be in the 80s tomorrow. So much warmer across a lot of the southeast for tomorrow. Now let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Michael. He always loves to point out Atlanta because that is his hometown. So for anyone that didn't know, Michael is from Atlanta.
I've driven through Atlanta a few times. I don't like their traffic.
So Jennifer is from Central Florida. That's the game we're playing today.
We actually were going to give you some weather facts, but I think Sydney wants to go on like some Central Florida facts, because we had a fact here that actually a hurricane in Florida once caused 900 pythons to escape from a captivity.
And then that triggered us to start talking about my fear of reptiles and her non-existent fear because of all that she's been in contact with throughout her life.
I've seen alligators, I've seen Komodo dragons on the side of the road, I have seen water moccasins in the water. So, even the friendlier ones, I've seen manatees and all, dolphins and stuff.
So I've seen a snapping turtle once.
Well, you're from North New York.
Yeah, so I'm from upstate New York. So snapping turtles and snakes, maybe. That's really all we see up there. So when I see an alligator, even in captivity, my friends are like, "Oh, like go touch it, it'll be fine." I'm like,
She'll go wrangle him.
I'm running. I'm running in the other direction.
Sydney needs to channel her inner Steve Irwin and just wrangle an alligator.
No, and no one out there should do that either, because alligators are scary.
Alligators are not something you want to mess with. They can actually run faster than you. So
yeah, so if you're ever being chased by an alligator, you should run in a zigzag motion, because then they can't catch you. And I do know that because of how scared I am of them.
What National Geographic teaches you.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the story about the Komodo dragon on the side?
I was driving on the side of on a local road in Tampa, Florida, and I noticed that there was a large figure on the side of the road. I thought it was an alligator.
Which is casual there. Casual alligator.
Casual. We pulled over and we noticed it was a Komodo dragon. So I think it probably escaped from someone's enclosure, but it was impressive.
Ooh, even the little lizards scare me. So less about reptiles and more about the weather. Jennifer, I think you have a little local look coming up for us.
Yeah, as we take a look at the time lapse of the sky cam, we're seeing things from noontime today. Clear conditions. It was absolutely beautiful heading throughout most of the day. Temperature-wise, it felt really nice too. And as we head out throughout most of the day, we saw no cloud cover inside, and that sunset heading throughout the evening hours. Overall, it's a beautiful way to the end of the day with these nice comfortable temperatures here around 625. So with these nice temperatures, we'll actually see 78 degrees with mostly sunny skies, and the wind's fairly calm, so it feels nice and warm when you walk outside with these clear temperatures and no non-existent winds and no cloud cover in sight on the radar. So taking a look at the timestamp, because it is rolling. We don't have anything on the radar right now because we are in a high pressure system, which means that we'll keep the cloud cover at bay because of these lower dew points. Bigger picture wise though, we around Florida and the southeast won't see any cloud cover heading throughout today and even into tomorrow. But temperature-wise, here across the Big Bend region, 76 degrees for Valdosta as well as 78 for Tallahassee. A bit cooler along the coast, but we do have a southwest breeze, which is bringing in some cooler water temperatures. 71 degrees for Apalachicola as well as 74 for Perry. With these temperatures, though, we did see it increase quite substantially since this time yesterday. About 11 degrees for Valdosta and 8 degrees for Tallahassee. So we have gotten warmer, and it will get warmer as we head into tomorrow as well. So with these higher temperatures, it will feel quite nice when you walk outside, as well as with the southwest wind bringing in some warmer air from the Gulf of Mexico, about 5 miles per hour in Tallahassee, 8 miles per hour in St. Marks, and 7 miles per hour for Apalachicola. So overall, we have some calmer wind speeds, as the high pressure is giving us a clockwise rotation, which is bringing in some of the warmer air from the Gulf. Dew points, though, are fairly dry as we saw some of the humidities in the southwest. We're seeing dew points in the 40s, even some 50s in some spots. So overall, it feels a little bit more dry when you walk outside, and this is why we haven't gotten any cloud cover, because we don't have any moisture to give us some clouds for this time. Futurecast, though, isn't giving us anything throughout the next few days and even into Thursday. We try to get another front coming through, but it'll die off because we don't have any humidity to kind of make it a little bit more strong as getting into the area. But tonight's forecast, though, 53 degrees for Bainbridge, as well as 50 degrees for Monticello. 55 for St. Mark's. Will be a bit warmer along the coast as they do have that southwest breeze giving them warmer temperatures from the Gulf. If you are heading out to the baseball game here in Tallahassee, FSU versus Stetson, it will be 76 degrees for first pitch. They should be 30 minutes into the game right now at 6:30. With the clear skies, it will be a great day to head out. And temperatures across the Big Bend, upper 80s for some areas, even 84 degrees here in Tallahassee. 7-day forecast is showing the front trying to make its way on through. We will see some cooler temperatures for Friday, but our next rain chances will be 80% for Monday, with another dip in temperature, about 72 for Tuesday. So as I send things back over to the desk, Ariana and Sydney, what do you think about these temperatures heading throughout the next few days?
I think that these temperatures signify the theme of our show, high pressure system.
High pressure system. Now, Sydney, what do you consider a high pressure system?
Okay, this is a corny joke that we just made up about 5 minutes ago, but I consider high pressure having 3 finals in the same day on finals week.
I totally agree with that. I, thank God, do not have a high pressure system in my life then at the moment, except for what's going on outside right now.
Yeah, exactly. So Thursday and Friday, we will see the clouds building back in, and those temperatures are dipping down a little bit on Friday, but thankfully Saturday back up in the 80s just in time for those rain chances to build in.
Yeah,
so.
and I think it's still pretty far out to say that it's for sure going to rain on Monday, because you never know about Florida temperatures
Yeah, we
this
don't
time
know
of year.
the exact timing of that rain, but we are supposed to get a nice system coming in sometime during the day, Sunday into Monday. So we'll see if Monday ends up being the washout that it's forecasted. Let's hope that it happens overnight, so we won't have that potential for severe weather.
Exactly. We don't want that, and I want to enjoy my weekend in the sun also.
Yeah.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend.
Yeah, maybe we can play a little game like we did this weekend where we could enjoy Friday and then enjoy Saturday, and the rain chances came into Sunday. So rainy Sundays aren't the worst because I'm stuck doing homework anyways.
It was a perfect homework day.
Yeah.
Actually. And then I cleared out for Sunday night, and I was like, okay, now I'm done with my homework. Now I can go out.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm completely okay with these conditions. But if you want to keep up with us tracking that rain chance, follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/FSU weather.
And also like us on Facebook at FSU weather also.
And most of you are watching us on YouTube, but if you're not, we are live on YouTube as well as the Comcast Channel 4.
And send us your Instagrams. We have an Instagram, FSU weather. We want to see your cool pictures, like sunsets, anything, honestly.
But
dog
have
pictures.
a great night, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Sydney Welch.
And I'm Ariana Goldstein. Have a good night.